This video was jointly produced by the Government of Flanders and the International Labour Organization.
The West, the developing and the developed world are reaching out and joining hands as partners in building a world order that equally benefits all the nations and people of the world.
This video is a snapshot of the journey that South Africa, the Government of Flanders and the ILO have travelled together. A journey that has enriched the lives of thousands of South Africans directly and indirectly for almost 3 decades. The Government of Flanders and the ILO signed their first cooperation agreement in 1991. In the early 90s, the Government of Flanders selected South Africa to become a priority partner within Flemish foreign policy. Flemish cooperation initially focused on assistance towards the building of a new democratic South Africa, but eventually evolved to include development cooperation, culture, science and innovation, economy and trade, youth development and education. In 1995, the first Government of Flanders and ILO project started in South Africa. The collaboration was with the International Training Centre of the ILO, with a focus on capacity development for trainers and managers from the Department of Labour and the private sector on how to manage diversity in the workplace. By the end of 1999, the Government of Flanders and the ILO had implemented a total of 4 projects with South African partners. A foundation had been laid. In the second decade of the journey, a series of projects were implemented. One project supported employers' organizations in the prevention of HIV/AIDS in the workplace, whilst another supported the development of a joint trade union cooperative strategy to reduce poverty. Another project focused on employing people with disabilities. The latter part of this decade recognized the role that youth can play in the South African economy and the contributions they can make to the poverty alleviation efforts. Through the creation of decent and sustainable jobs for poor and marginalized young women and men, South Africa was on its way to promoting an environment for increased youth employment and participation. The Say Jump project assisted local, rural and urban communities in 3 provinces in collaboration with workers and employers organizations to create 1,500 decent jobs and sustainable livelihoods. The cooperation also worked towards effective and efficient delivery of government services to the public, with tools and instruments for gender mainstreaming and gender analysis. The collaboration of the cooperation also strengthened social dialogue in the Southern African development community.
The relationship between the ILO and particularly the Flanders government has been most probably the best between the ILO and any donor in this country. They bring resources which we need, and we identify with them and the government and the social partners specific programs. And they've been a huge success.
From 2000 to 2010, another 7 projects had been implemented in South Africa. This last decade has seen the partnerships between provincial local government and the Government of Flanders push boundaries in the area of the social economy, social entrepreneurship and SME development. The corporate sector has contributed significantly through sponsorships and the mentoring of young entrepreneurs. The promotion of employment is at the core of the ILO's Decent Work Country program. And so, to boost the industry competitiveness of a key transport industry player, Transnet, a project was designed to increase productivity through improved workplace cooperation and social dialogue in the port of Durban. A second phase of this project, co-funded with the government of the Netherlands, was expanded to the ports of Richards Bay and Maputo in Mozambique. The Ports project facilitated training and other support services to boost the skills base of ports workers, optimize work processes, and refine human resource development systems.
It was at a stage where the relationship between labor representative and management was not as smooth flowing as it should be. We went through the workshop and we started laying out ground rules of what the relationship should be and where it should lead to. I can say for both Pier 1 and Pier 2, we have the best relationship. We always manage to get to where we go.
2011 saw the dawn of the Free State SME Development Project. This project was the biggest and most ambitious so far, focusing on SME development in the Free State and with several components. One of the important components was to promote a culture of entrepreneurship among young people. the Startup and Go Entrepreneurship Education Program was born, revolutionizing how entrepreneurship was taught in secondary education. Similarly, the Enterprise Job Creation Challenge broke new ground in terms of identifying and screening for business development support for entrepreneurs as a means to job creation. Private sector sponsors contributed greatly to make this and subsequent challenges a success, setting the stage for a new model of collaboration between the private sector and government. Contestants were challenged to pitch their business ideas for the chance of winning their share of prizes with 7.5 million rand.
Job creation was one of the most important things when it came to the competition, and through the competition we were able to create jobs, and that's 13 jobs to be exact.
The second phase of the project was expanded to also include KwaZulu-Natal and renamed the Sustainable Enterprise Development Facility. The facility has also set up an SMME database, a dynamic tool that benefits both government and SMMEs. The enterprise challenges have since grown, focusing on sectors prioritized by provincial authorities.
To showcase at the provincial level, at the local levels, what can be done to promote enterprise development, that is a vehicle to job creation. And we run enterprise challenges, which challenge entrepreneurs to think about their business, to package their businesses, and through that we're promoting sharpening the entrepreneurial spirit.
Normally we receive the reporting and you get the paperwork, and it's not always easy to visualize, well, what do they really mean when they say they did a Master Caterer Challenge? What does it mean for the people? It's the stories that make you feel that it really makes a difference.
I think it was a good platform for us as small business people to learn more how to do things and understand how the industry actually works. At least if you manage to help one or two and they've gained something out of it, I think that's all that matters.
Social enterprises and cooperatives form a significant portion of the SMME environment and have been identified as one of a variety of viable and sustainable economic enterprises that can help to alleviate pressure on the local labor market. The Public Procurement and Social Economy Project, now in its second phase, supports social economy businesses in South Africa to penetrate the regulatory space for the preferential procurement of their goods and services by government and the corporate sector through a mix of advocacy and policy advisory services.
Cooperatives, they are known as schools of democracy.
Let's create platforms, where we will share.
A knowledge-sharing network has also been created around the common goal of job creation and SMME development within Malawi, Mozambique, and South Africa. The network aims to bring organizations and individuals together to share existing knowledge as well as develop, distribute, and apply new knowledge.
Now, what I think is the strongest need in South Africa is the communication between labor, government, and business.
A countrywide assessment was also conducted into the conditions required for sustainable enterprise in South Africa and captured the plight of the informal economy's challenges aptly.
Le business sifuna likhule kodwa okuningi nakho konke asifuni ukuphuma la elokishini.
Yeah, ngiyafisa ukuba ne workshop enkulu. Ngiyafisa ukubona ngiregistile futhi iphupho lami ukuregister phela.
Youth is the backbone of the future. With the help of strong leadership in local governments and communities, they will be able to identify where business opportunities lie and to see how they can obtain the right skills and knowledge to enjoy these.
Since 2010 to today, another 7 projects have been implemented, taking the total number since 1995 to 18. And a new global agreement was signed in March 2016 between the government of Flanders and the ILO. For South Africa, a new project has also been approved, which over the next 3 years will support the Department for Economic Development in crafting a new policy for the social economy through a broad consultative process. This video has provided a snapshot of the journey between the government of Flanders, the International Labour Organization, and the South African government, private sector, and civil society partners across South Africa. These stories demonstrate how true collaborative efforts between partners, international and local, can improve the lives of South Africans.